Today, we have a special guest, Stive Suarez, a visionary tech leader at Xseed, with a wealth of experience driving innovation and software development across global markets. Stive has been instrumental in shaping Xseed's growth, particularly focused on harnessing the immense talent pool in Latin America. In this episode, we will dive into Stive's unique insights on why Latin America is emerging as a tech talent hub, what it means to be a tech leader in the ever-evolving software development landscape, and Stive's personal journey towards leadership. Stive, thank you so much for being here.
Hey, Mate, thanks a lot for the invitation. I'm pretty happy and excited to be here in your podcast. And, I have a lot of ideas to discuss with you. So very happy to be here.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Let's get rolling. Let's get started. Stive, can you share your journey in the tech world and how did your role as a tech leader evolve within Xseed?
Yeah, sure. Well, I would say that my journey in tech started much like yours and many others at Xseed, with a passion for building things and passion to serve. Over the years, I evolved from, being focused purely on development to understanding the broader picture from a technical perspective, how technology can drive businesses and innovation. But my role as tech leader at actually has grown, like I would say, organically. I started by dipping deep into problem solving, but quickly I realized that leadership is about enabling and empowering others to solve problems too. So I'm pretty happy to say and express that at Xseed, we're building a culture that thrives on this collaborative problem solving, and it's been rewarding to watch our teams not only grow but also lead projects with a sense of ownership and the most important thing, creativity.
Very good. Um, and so your story is intertwined with Latin America, right? Why do you believe Latin America has become such a fertile ground for tech talent? And how do you think Xseed has capitalized on this potential?
Definitely, I love that question because Latin America is boosting with talent. And I think we've both seen like firsthand how the region's tech professionals bring a unique blend of creativity, adaptability, and technical expertise. Because this is not only about technical skills, this is also about soft skills and how you adapt to different cultures. And definitely this is what we have in Latin America. The other part, which is that the entrepreneurial spirit is strong here, and people aren't afraid to dive into new technologies, which is pretty exciting. And of course, how we capitalize this at Exit? Well, we've tapped into this by building a hybrid team model that gives Latin America professionals the chance to work on cutting edge global projects, the cultural alignment with both in the US and of course in Europe in some cases, and this has been a big win for us. Uh, I think we've only scratched the surface of what Latin America can offer in terms of innovation and growth, but definitely in the upcoming years, I'm pretty sure we will have and we will be positioned as one of the most important places where technical, soft skills, and creativity grows.
Very good. I love it. It's about the culture. It's about productivity. It's about the entrepreneur mindset. So many things that come into play. What else do you think are the key strengths that tech professionals in Latin America bring to the table, and how do you specifically integrate these strengths into your teams?
Good call. Yeah, I would say resilience. For me, as resilience, Latin America tech professionals are unmatched. We've we've all worked on projects where resources were limited, of course, yet our teams found a way to deliver exceptional results, even with lower resources. So that's why I think in Exit specifically and Latin American talents will leverage this strength by giving our teams the autonomy to explore solutions. Uh, our professionals, of course, are also highly adaptable. They're not confined to one technology or methodology. They learn fast and bring a diverse perspective to the table. This diversity is a major asset to Xseed as well, allowing us, for example, to deliver innovative solutions that are both practical and, for our clients, scalable.
Very good. And that ties back to there are three main values that Xseed, but I think you're touching on two of our main values right now. First, you talk about culture and the relationships that we can build, and we always talk about Xseed. Relationships matter, right? The way that
Relationships
we
matter, yeah.
relate to each other, the way that we relate with our customers matters, right? And we want to build a work environment where we are all thriving with our unique differences, right? And you talked about diversity as well. I think that's very important. But then you talked about resilience and adaptability. And I think that goes back to our second value, which is we make things happen, right? No matter the resources, no matter the circumstances, we will make it happen. And results speak for ourselves and our names are at stake, right? And so I think it's beautiful we have been working together for a while, Steve, and I admire the way that you work and the way that you lead projects. But it's also very nice to just hear you talk about this story and represent these values in such a great way. Let me ask you now, how do you stay on top of the latest trends in technology? It's crazy, right? AI, crypto, blockchain, quantum. Every day you hear something new, right? And you are a tech leader, and you're kind of a generalist, but also a specialist. I don't know. How do you manage? What do you read something in special? Do you do courses? What can you tell the audience about how you stay up to date?
Yeah, that's definitely a good question because it's challenging. It's challenging to be at the same level of all the technologies that day by day you see. But I know we both spend a lot of time researching and discussing trends, whether it's at conferences or just through our own curiosity. Staying current is essential for me, but what's more important is understanding which trends make sense for me and for Xseed. Because you see AI here, Web3 here, blockchain, but it's important to keep in mind also what the market is saying, what our clients want to build, and based on that, understand those trends and prioritize trends that can make an immediate impact on our work, like AI, we could say automation, cloud native development. For Latin America, it's about choosing technologies that enable scalability and global competitiveness. We've seen how tools like AI help our teams to, for example, automate routine tasks, which in turn allow us to focus on more creative and high value work, which is something that the AI, at least for now, can't do. So definitely this is how I try to keep, my eye on the most important trends. I love to read documentation. I love to read articles, but also I love to, hear people and influencers that are sharing different kind of thoughts and ideas for the upcoming trends or the current trends that we are experimenting in the world.
I love it. There are many trends, but some of them are just hype. Some of them have real value. It's hard to stay on top of that. And you said it in one word, right? Scalability. And there's a kind of a practicality that comes with scalability. Is this usable? Is this going to add value to the business of our customers, right? And not just for us as developers. Is it sexy? Is it trendy, right? But the real question is this going to add value to the end user and the business, right? And that's the question that we need to keep asking ourselves. I love it. And that brings me to the next question, actually, which is how do you balance the need for innovation while managing the practicalities of scaling a company like Xseed in the competitive tech industry?
Yeah, that's well, balancing innovation and scaling is something that we talk about often at Xseed. We discuss, we discuss with different of our colleagues and in teams, because from my point of view, the key is embedding a culture of innovation. That's why culture matters into the DNA of the company, of course, and the teammates. But while we are maintaining a clear focus on scalability, of course, we work together for this culture of innovation. I think we're constantly experimenting with new ideas, but we always ensure that they are aligned with our long-term goals and can be scaled at Xseed. Um, I found, well, together, I would say we found as team that creating scalable frameworks, even for experimental projects, allow us to stay agile while also ensuring that we are prepared for next phase of growth. So definitely this the need of for innovation where we manage, and where we adopt current frameworks and current stuff in the market can be balanced when we work on this culture of innovation and we keep things like education and never stop learning, because this is something that I say to myself every day: never stop learning. You're learning. You won't stop learning, never. So definitely this is one of the key things here.
Very good. And now there are so many things you can learn, right? And we go back to what do you choose? In terms of software development trends, what excites you the most, especially when looking at how it can impact Latin Americans' growth in the global tech landscape?
Definitely. uh I love to talk about this because this is not only what matters for me, but what matters for Latin America and how I'm contributing to that growth. So there's so much happening right now, but what excites me most is the intersection of AI, automation, of course, and cloud native development. Uh, I think that from my point of view, these trends are creating opportunities for Latin America and for the world, of course, to level the playing field. For example, at Xseed, we are already leveraging these technologies to streamline operations and innovating ways that were impossible just a few years ago. You cannot imagine how, for example, we used to develop or we used to code without the help of AI. That's why we are adopting these kind of technologies and these kind of trends, because definitely we realize that we a big part of our work and our manual work um, can be improved by using technologies like AI or automation to focus, your time and your expertise on what matters, which is creativity and how you impact your development with this kind of tools. So I would say that also Latin Americans' ability to adopt, for example, these trends is positioning the region as a serious competitor in the global term market. And I believe Xseed is at the forefront of that movement. And I'm pretty, I'm pretty good to say that because we are working so hard internally to deliver high quality products and also to deliver this kind of culture to the world.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now you talked a lot about when you realized that being a leader, really it becomes not about you but about your team, right? It becomes about achieving the results through your team, right? And you talked about that at the beginning. But how do you, and you talk about how you want them to be creative, how do you want to have a culture of creativity, innovation, etc. How do you go about that? How do you foster that creativity and innovation within your teams, especially talking about the um, hybrid and distributed type of talent that we have in Latin America?
Definitely a good question, Mateo. So in Xseed, we there's something that I always they're always said to my teammates and how we handle, every challenge we adopt. And is that we encourage our teams to think outside the box. I would say, well, everything says that to think outside the box is important, but how we run it, how we practice that statement, think outside the box. Well, we could say that, for example, we run innovation sprints. We take ownership of projects that push the boundaries. Uh, and one of the most important things that we have is the diversity across Latin America, because when you have different kind of point of views, different kind of ideas or experiences, you definitely kind of start question, you know, different kinds of challenges. So I think this adds a richness to our problem solving. The unique perspectives that come from different countries and backgrounds lead to breakthroughs we wouldn't have had otherwise. I think it's about creating the space for creativity and supporting our teams with the resources they need to execute on their ideas. We're always, pushing this kind of, hey, any idea you have, how you think this could be better, definitely will be more than welcome, because what we are, pushing here, what we want to see is not the vision of only one people or only one person or just a couple of people. We really want to build this vision and these products with all the ideas from our teammates. So definitely, I think that's two and three are the most important things here.
I love it. And there's a very important question that I've seen you ask many times, and it's very powerful and it's very simple. It's someone is talking about a situation, a problem, something that they need to solve, right? And they ask a question, and you turn it back to them, and you go like, "What do you think? How do
Yeah.
you think we should resolve this?" Right? And turning back that question to our developers, team members, etc., it's very powerful, and it's that simple. It's that simple, right? It's many times we can have an answer. It doesn't mean it's the answer. We can have an answer that we might think it's the best answer, but if we just hold on, we have a little
Mhm.
patience and we ask that question back to whomever is asking us in the first place, that's how you drive that mindset, that
Yeah.
innovation and solution mindset, right? So I love it. um Steve, when you think about aspiring developers that want to move into leadership roles, what type of advice will you give to aspiring developers in Latin America, especially in companies that span both regional and global markets?
Yeah. Well, this is whoever whoever is listening to me this podcast. Hey, developer friend, technical skills matters, but more than technical skills, communication and people management matters. If you don't communicate what you are thinking to not technical people and even to your team, that's a challenge that you will need to face and you will need to improve, because technical skills can be. I always say that I'm working with people, with experts more than me in any technology, and I'm just my most important role is to communicate, keep things going, and keep people motivated and empowered to develop their expertise to deliver value. So definitely, this is something that is pretty valuable for me on a leadership is about understanding both the technical, of course, and human aspects of the projects. For example, start by taking on small leadership roles, mentor someone. This is important. Mentorship is important. Lead a small project, or even help bridge communication gaps within your team. I love this culture of leadership at Xseed, because we've seen how developers who excel in communication and take initiative naturally transition into the leadership roles. And always about empowering people to be able to develop these kind of skills. It's about showing that you can not only deliver, but also lead and inspire others to do the same. So it's like a chain, when you create this kind of culture where you inspire each other. And yeah, definitely this is one of the um, most important advices I could give to developers who are thinking about that.
It's a great advice, and I think it's super timely for our next question. Um, and it's the rise of AI, right? And the AI keeps rising, and the technology expertise is getting leveled, but you still need to communicate, right? And yeah, you can ask, GPT to write you an email, whatever. But when you get on a call and you are talking to multiple people, and you, Steve, you get on calls and you have people on the phone from the US, from Latin America. Maybe our customer has some people in Ukraine, Poland, whatever, India, right? And you're talking to people all across the world. And I've seen you work wonders with how you orchestrate all of that. It's beautiful. It's like you're an orchestra director, talking to different people and, asking the right questions at the right time, keeping the pace. And I love that. And that goes back to what you're saying and to our next question, which is, how do you adapt to the rise of AI? How has AI and automation influenced your role as a tech leader? And how do you ensure that Latin America's talent remains competitive on the global stage?
That's a good question. Well, during the last years, AI and automation have become central to how we operate at Xseed, of course, because this is important to keep trends in our operation. But we are using these technologies to optimize processes and improve how we deliver services. But again, the human element is still crucial. Our role as leaders has shifted to ensure our teams are not just implementing AI, but also developing the critical thinking needed to work alongside it. For I would say that for Latin America talent, uh, this means staying competitive by continuously learning and adapting your critical think on these kind of technologies. So, in general terms, for example, we're heavily invested in upskilling our teams to make sure they are not at the front of these changes. And that's what, for me, this is one of the most important things, because we are positioning them for success in a tech landscape that it's rapidly evolving. So this is why I got inspired to be a leader, to empower people to learn these kind of technologies. I always love for example, to hear or see people explaining to others what they learned last week. So definitely, I would say this is why AI and automation and this kind of technologies have influenced into me, in my role as tech leader, because uh, as we grow with these kind of technologies, we deliver more and more high quality products for our customers. And this is again why culture matters, and why relationship matters, and why what we do matter.
Thank you, Steve. That was a great answer. And then let's look back a little bit at your journey, right? It's been a long journey. You did a little bit of everything. You were an entrepreneur. You're still kind of an entrepreneur. You were a developer. You are a leader. You did so many things, right? What's one lesson you've learned as a tech leader that has had the most significant impact on your career, especially when working with talent from Latin America?
That's a nice question, and I would say is that I don't have all the answers. Like when we start leading, we think that and this is a kind of I think this is normal when we start thinking that we need to find and we have all the answers for every problem we face, and that's a lie. And that's what I think it's important, the empowering word, because when you empower your teams to find these kind of answers, you don't have to worry about all the answers, to solve an issue, or solving a challenge, because you're empowering your team to find these answers together. So there's so much untapped potential. For me, this lesson has been invaluable. And if we talk about Xseed with these kind of lessons that I apply every day, we build a culture where everyone is encouraged to take ownership of their work, and ownership is important on the work word, because that's led to some incredible innovations, by empowering the talent. I've seen firsthand how teams can achieve things that exceed even their own expectations. And I love that. It's about fostering growth, providing the tools and trust needed to succeed, and letting people's talent shine. You don't have to shine, alone. Your team needs to shine because they are the most important things to build projects. So, yeah, definitely this is the best lesson I've learned.
I love it. Stop thinking about having all the answers, and maybe even focus about asking the right questions and letting the rest have the right answers, right? It's no longer about you. It's about them. It's about the team.
It's about them.
That's powerful. That's very, very powerful. And it's the one thing that leaders need to keep in mind, right? Once you figure that out, the rest will follow. But if you don't figure that out, you will go nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. I love it. Thank you, Steve. Steve, one last random question to you. What do you do when you are not working?
Well, well, I love different kind of other things that are not related to technology. For example, I love cooking. I consider myself a good, I would say that I would like to be a chef, but well, that's a try of chef. And also, I love music. As you, Mateo, I also play drums. I play my small ukulele as well. So these are kind of things that I enjoy to do when I don't want to think about technology. Despite of I'm always thinking about technology and how we can build a tech world. But definitely, I love music, and this is one of the skills that I try to keep since I was a child. So yeah, music is one of my first loves in the world. So yeah.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Just a disclaimer for the rest of the world. Yes, there are a lot of musicians at Xseed. Yes, Mateo speaking here, the CEO, loves music, but it's not a prerequisite. If you want to work at Xseed, we will not hold that against you. If you are a musician, then even better, but we will not, non-musicians can apply as well. No, just kidding. Steve, it's a pleasure, right? I get to work with you every day and I enjoy it like crazy. Thank you so much for being the way you are. You are just getting started on your tech leadership in Xseed, right? And you have helped us so much in such a brief period of time. And you keep delighting our customers. And I just enjoy seeing that. Thank you for being the way you are. Thank you for taking the time to do this podcast. I'm sure we will get to do this sometime again in the future. And there's no doubt that we will stay in touch, my friend.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mate, for inviting me to this amazing podcast. Let's keep innovating and let's keep delivering high quality products for the world.